their ping's going to be a little less ideal. But it's the core of 3 Mexican players that I'm very curious to see, because they've had some good statistics over the last 3 months. The competition, though, if you look at their previous matches, it's kind of a predictable split in terms of they're very competitive against, I would say, the tier 3 of NA competition right now.
Yes.
But once you make that jump up, they're not really getting maps. So certainly taking a win against M80, who we look at as being towards the top of our scene, of our domestic scene, that'd be a massive one. Let's find out.
It'd be insane, Mike. And you talk about that gap, right? Against Akimbo, convincing losses in 2 maps, getting info, convincing losses in 2 maps. But Might, Subtic, Super Evil Gang, Project H1, you talked about it, tier 3. They're getting wins against those teams. But there is always that big jump, right? From tier 3 to tier 2 or even tier 1.5. Anyway, we're going into it here on Dust2. Sin going to get, actually no, Swisher going to get the opening frag onto Jardani. 5v4 quickly, although Marca Registrada might be able to get a bomb plant off here.
Not a bad idea. Dink up on the lake as well. Gives you a little bit of space. The retake's going to be on. There is no kit, so you need a full 10-second defuse here. Maybe we'll need to get a move on. Lucky Util as well. Just kind of got to shoot their way out of it. The trap is sprung from AMC, but traded out nicely. He's taking them to the theater, and now the bodies are starting to hit the floor. It all falls to Majestics. Looking to show them his majesty, but in the clutch, it will be the German op of Slacks who walks away with the needed USP kill. Time enough for the defuse, and it's M80 that strikes first.
Yeah, I mean, look, very back and forth, kind of what you would expect of a pistol round, and, well, at the end of the day, it's M80 that come through. Although, I say they expected, still, Marca Registrada acquitted themselves quite well just to make it down to that 1v1. I thought they had it for a moment, but as you mentioned, closed out by M80, and it's a 1-0 in their favor. Now, Force Buy will almost certainly come through, and it does. You got the Galil. Although, I thought they'd get a second Galil. They opt instead for more util. I don't mind that, though, especially on a map like Dust2. You got the 3 Tech 9s and the Mac 10.
I also think that, I'm trying to get a little bit of a ping check on Marca Registrada, because it is interesting in CS2. Obviously, you still want to, but it's handled a little bit differently from Go, where it just always felt like an outright disadvantage. Where at times there's a sort of a sweet spot at ping that can make it very difficult on the peakers.
That is true.
So I would imagine we might see M80 stick more towards the SMGs than we would normally see them. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how much of an impact it's going to be. This is pure conjecture on my part. I don't actually know what kind of ping they're playing with right now. But anyways, it's a nice start for Swisher, certainly out towards long. Double spray down here. That makes life a little easier. They clear up this player. Ooh, that's an oversight from Sin. Looks away at the wrong moment, trying to support his B player. And they actually can't get the transfer over from Hex. So now this is going to be a bomb plant almost certainly. B1 is in trouble. And down he will go. But a bomb plant out of this isn't the worst result in the world. Let's see if Spamsy can make anything of it. No.
Decidedly no. Well, I mean, still, a bomb plant's pretty great there. They overwhelmed, I think it was Hex and Sin towards that B site. Sin got caught off towards mid, and Hex anchoring down B. Got taken care of after he gets 1 frag, though. So it wasn't too bad in terms of the trades for M80. It's just giving up that bomb plant allows Marca Registrada to continue building up the money. And, yeah. I mean, just go ahead, Mike.
It really just came down to the lack of the full clear in mid, right? Sin not realizing that a player had slipped into the corner, getting caught in the timing of the rotate off. That's what allows the bomb plant to come through. That's what allows it all to happen. But still, decent result, and you'll see them forced by it down as a result of it. They're just going to keep it going, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Meanwhile, op out for Slacks early. This is interesting. Where are they going to put Slacks? Knowing, as they probably do, that another force buy came their way. Almost certainly. Molly's go down to make sure this isn't going to be the faster play. Hex is in a bit of trouble. They might want to smoke this up just to get him out of there. Oh, nice timing on that HE.
Slack's waiting with the op here. Supporting Sin this time around mid. That's going to be a good pop. Yeah, and the spot of the arm, but not the connection. Yeah, I thought he would have had him there, but no.
That's one way to get Tommy John surgery.
Oh, Jesus.
Quick reposition though off the slacks. Good Molotov to clear this out. Kind of going step by step here, taking this space. But there's no real control yet, right? They've got catwalk. Are you smoking up in towards the middle? What are you going to do with it? The bomb's still outside of tunnels. I mean, the flip side is that M80 doesn't know what they're going to do with it. So they're kind of left to sit. But we've got an interesting stack up here in the numbers. Both towards the A response, and it seems like that's a bit of a fake. So Slack spots the one, but there's still 2 players here to defend B, and there's no one coming through mid.
Mike, they threw a late smoke into tunnels, and that burns even more time off the clock. Marca Registrada are going to have to flash out, and that's all they have left in terms of util. Instead, they're waiting. 19. Yeah. This is going way too low.
I don't know if they're even going to have time for this exact.
No.
Molotov goes in behind it. That was thrown a little bit early. Thinking that it was the fade, but there's the first one. They have to come through. 8 seconds. They don't have time for a plan. They do not have time. There is not enough clock. Could even punish this a little bit more, but wanting to make sure that there's no chance they get the plant down. The kills do come before time. At least that is a slim mercy.
Yeah, they waited too long. I mean, good on M80. They played that so well. Util paced fantastically. The smoke being available for those last 25 seconds was amazing. But Marca Registrada, they had 3 flashes. You just got to flash out, throw all of them, get into the bomb site, and try to overload. Instead, they wait and wait and wait until the smoke fades, and then they go in. But by the time they're going in, like you mentioned, the bomb couldn't even be planted anyway. Even if everything goes perfectly in terms of the frags, just wasn't any time left on the clock. So now they'll have to be relegated down to pistols. Swisher backing off here. He was the star yesterday with 40 frags, and he racks up another 2 here against Jardani and AMC. Swisher looking very cozy and comfy here over towards long. He's got support from Lake. Not really being too fussed by anyone. And it should be a very easy M80.
Very comfortable indeed. This is where you start to see the problems forming. There's going to be another rifle buyout. This is the first proper gun round for Marca Registrada, so we don't want to oversell the implications so far. We got glass cannon op for Jardani. Wanting to go to the scope to get off of that donut. But we have already started to see M80 look pretty comfortable. Fast pick attempt. That's the gap in the smoke. Gonna reveal that off, so now they know about it. Wouldn't have necessarily been a given that they were going towards the AWP. But a peek up is gonna give Slacks the opportunity he was looking for. Patient. As you like. And now the AWP already down and out of play. A numbers advantage given. This door smoke. It's not the new meta. It doesn't bloom high enough. It's giving them a lot of opportunities to go peering over, giving Slack some chances to try and pluck another number.
And there are a couple of smokes you can throw to fill the door. Obviously, the meta smoke is the one that lands on the hinge, but there's another that does pretty well if you throw it a little deeper. Anyway, look, that one just doesn't do the job. And now, there we go.
There you go. They got one on work. But again, we're seeing this situation. This is what happened in the previous round. They have some space. They don't really know what to do with it. Feels like this is going to be a cat hit, which means that they're going to have to test the AWP. That means we're going to have a player out towards Goose. Means we're going to have Swisher out towards Long, who's able to activate late. It's a pretty good setup to deal with at M80. Yes, the rotations for the B players might be a little late, but that flash doesn't really catch on the Slack, so he's going to have an easy time. There's no lurk smoke thrown. There's a swing back out from the rifle of Lake, and at this point it seems to be a competition about who's going to get the kills first. B1 has to die because he's running out of time, and Lake will do him that courtesy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's just like you can't be missing your util against a team like M80. You got to be on point with those flashbangs. I mean, we mentioned it yesterday, and I already kind of talked about it in the pregame, though, but Outfit 49, their util was not good yesterday in their first match. Even though they come in with the win, it was rough around the edges, and I said it. You can't do that against a team like M80. You have to have everything on lockdown, because if you miss one thing, just by a little bit, they're going to jump right on you and pounce on the opportunity to get frag after frag. And that's exactly what happens right there in that round. 5-0 lead. Timeout called by Marca Registrada. Totally understand that because things have absolutely not gone their way. I think M80, I mean, they haven't really lost many bodies over the last couple of rounds, if any. Marca Registrada need to find some answers.
I think this is the moment where you simplify, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
These late takes aren't working. This late mid control isn't working. They're not really getting the room. So call a strat out of spawn and hit it. And just see if you guys can execute a strat out of spawn. They're going to buy in here pretty heavily, actually. So they like their chances. And it seems like they're listening to me because this looks like a B rush.
Yeah. We'll see if it works out. They have to wait, though, because the incendiary was on the ground.
Here they go.
Now they move in.
Sometimes the classics are the classics for a reason. Sometimes they're not so favorable because, well, they've been slightly solved. Nice kills coming in. It all falls to AMC. Will not be a double feature. See if he even gets the single. Not gonna happen.
No theatrics.
6-0. Clean as you like.
Yep, no theatrics for AMC there, as he is going to fall handily. M80, I think they lost one body there, but it didn't really matter. Marca Registrada walked right into what was a crossfire, thanks to the AWP firing away from Slacks towards mid, onto the B site. And yeah, I mean, just feels like they're getting outplayed at this point. I understand the idea of going for the B rush, but as it stands, there wasn't much behind it. 7th round of play. Double off comes out for M80. Means they're feeling very good indeed. The German duo rocking those ops. And Sin collects onto Jardani.
Jardani's not having a good time.
No.
Not having a good time today. Tickle off the nade, drops the smoke, backs away. No reason to give them a kill back. Nice to see the discipline, though. M80 are playing with a lot of discipline considering it's the 6-0 and they've been dominating these engagements, right? They're not chasing up too much. As I say that, Hex actually does take a little peeky-poo just to establish a little bit of control here in towards tunnels. Sees nothing.
I wouldn't expect M80, Mike, to get undisciplined here. They're going to play disciplined Counter-Strike from beginning to end here against every team they face. I don't think they're going to try and get in their faces too much. They want to play their game.
Yeah, the Pro League spot as well is just exactly. Nice shot from Slacks again. Nothing to push him off the angle, so he's just going to feast. There's no flashes, there's no smokes, there's no space gain.
God.
You just cannot give him this opportunity. He's strong from car when you're given all the smokes, when you're given all the flashes. If you don't even challenge him like that, I mean, you're never going to get past this position. He's 12-0 right now. And if you don't do anything to actually make him uncomfortable, Slags is, I mean, he's having a field day right now. This is the happiest he could be.
I think he's an underrated opper, to be honest with you. I mean, not North American per se, but in North America, not someone we necessarily talk about that much, but he's absolutely solid. That being said, I think any opper in that situation will have a field day if you're not going to use the util well. And I mean, yeah, you just have so much visibility and free reign. Slacks, of course, on point. Gets every single duel. Wins it. Even though he was the only one left on the A side after losing his rifler. Still looking phenomenal.
I'm thinking Marca Registrada need to watch some Nart videos. Some of the things that they're throwing are just a little old. They're not quite the most optimal way to fight or take positions based on the intel that they have available. They're going to try the cat play again. Slacks is this time playing from ramp. Let's see. We get a lurk smoke. Okay. Here's the carpet of smokes. This is giving them a little bit of room. The one doesn't drop down, so they're both up top. Ideally, you want the one to drop down to provide you a little bit of a cushion, but it is going to allow the player in towards CT, and he wasn't spotted. So this actually works out. The column works out, and they don't realize. They don't realize there's a player in CT, so they're doing damage, but I know they think they know. They figured it out.
They really knew.
Together based on what they've seen. And it's a little bit too much of a stall out here in middle for Marca Registrada. They get this one kill. B1 has to battle back into mid, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think they saw him necessarily, Mike, but you're right. Just based on context, based on the way that that was playing out and the smokes that have been thrown, like, we should probably clear this because we didn't necessarily see if anyone could have slipped through. And absolutely, they were right. 2 players hard clearing it. The flashbang thrown for that corner. Beautifully done from M80. Everything is on point. The procedures, everything that they've practiced are in play. There's a nice smoke block there by Sin. That is not what Marca Registrada wanted to happen because it blocks off their visibility into mid. Just a nice little micro play there. Slacks, waiting with the op. Not going to have visibility, but he just wants to see if anyone's going to charge through. Probably going to have a peek now with that smoke. Timing? No, it's not going to go Jardani's way. Doesn't even really get a chance to fire. There's Slacks actually missing the shot. And then the incendiary's tossed for Cat. So, I mean, look, M80 don't necessarily have the read on where Marca Registrada is going to go. Maybe that smoke puts a doubt in their mind as to where they might be headed.
I mean,
Mid's open.
Yeah, they've gained good space here and towards mid. This has been mostly left open, and now it seems like Marca Registrada have identified this. They still need to be able to punish it, and oh, that flashbang back in. That's brutal.
God, dude, that
Hex
flash.
denies. They finally find the right answer in terms of a macro sense. But in a micro sense, they once again are a little bit too slow with how they activate, and that just gives Hex the chance to swing off the flash. I mean, this is tough to watch.
I mean, what we expected, though, to be quite honest.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. And
Just
you're
makes me
looking at.
sad.
I know, Mike. It's not obviously. It's never fun to be the team that's getting smacked down, nor is it fun necessarily to watch them get demolished. But it's going to happen sometimes, especially in these types of tournaments and qualifiers. But yeah, looking at Sin, he's one of the best utility players in, I would say, North America, because he's just thrown so many flashes per round, 1 per round, which you don't often see, even amongst some of the higher tier IGLs. And he has a 0.68 success rate. So throwing that many and still having a success rate that's hovering around 0.7 is phenomenal. And you see why when he's setting up Hex for frags like that. That's a tougher fight for Hex under any other circumstances if he's taking that dry and there's no lack of visibility for the Marca Registrada players. But because Sin throws the flash after Hex gets that first one, I mean, it's cozy for him. He's able to get an easy 3K.
I thought it was actually interesting. They did, I think it was, I want to say Asian TV did a content piece at the major with Mob, where it's, you know, the create your perfect player. And it's classic answers like aim, you know, want to see teams and sneak, go, things like that. And when he was asked util, he said Sin. He said, and it wasn't just the knowledge of the nades, but he said that Sin really had that intuition for when you need to improvise something, when you need to come up with something on the fly, when you're in a tough spot, you need to throw a flash or a smoke for your teammate, just kind of figuring it out when they're not the lineups.
Yep. It's something that's not looked at often enough, honestly, you know, because it's all about the fragging, about the monacies, about the donks, you know, doing crazy stuff, but the utility is part of that solution. It's part of that formula.
It's certainly something that his teammates are going to appreciate massively about him, more so than what we see on the outside.
Yeah.
Once again, this mid space is going to be afforded to them. Lake backs away from it, not wanting to be caught. So it's going to be Sin who takes the contact. Hex committed it further, but Lake and Slacks popping that smoke, tracking these players through, knowing their angles, knowing their lineups. Look at how much damage they've done. And Swisher starting to get faster and bolder out of that long control. They've seen this play before, and now, well, it's never worked, but they certainly know how to solve it this time. Slacks has 15 kills and no deaths, John.
Yeah, just realized that as well.
He's 15-0.
He has been.
It's 1.5 kills a round.
Not too shabby.
This one's going to be good for the rating.
Slightly above average. Yeah, speaking of average.
This one's going to be real good for the rating, I would say.
Yeah, it won't hurt, that's for sure. I mean, yesterday was fantastic for Slacks as well. 33 and 13, 1.7 rating. The only player above him was Swisher at 1.83. And again, trying to get along on Marca Registrada. They tried to keep it simple, like you were mentioning earlier, but it just nothing is working for them.
Oof. Well, I have good news for Marca Registrada. It's probably going to be over soon.
Jeez, Mike.
Well, this is their map pick.
It is.
And this is a thorough dismantling.
Yeah.
About as thorough as it gets. We're going to get the smoke fade. Lake's playing a little bold. Backs away. Before it actually does. Wary that he could get caught. It is still Slacks, the final boss of this map right now. Waiting at ramp for these catwalk players. So let's see if they can get past him. The answer so far has been... And the long player is going to kind of haphazardly take that. Oh, Slacks is actually dinked. He might die. They won't win the round.
No.
And he will not die. Gets his kill, slips away. Hex sets up the flank. He's already fast up on the catwalk. There was no chance in that one. Just complete denial once again. They're trying different solutions. They're trying to get out long, and they are just finding nothing.
Indeed. Final round of play this half. Maybe Giordani can get on the board here and do something. I'd say go out altogether instead of trying to go for fights in different directions. You have to find that trade, and they're just really not. They're losing 2 bodies before they get 1 frag. They need to get 1-for-1 somewhere, or even get a frag immediately. There we go. Majestic onto Lake, a 5v4, very rare man advantage coming through from Marca Registrada. Nades sail through, do so much damage over on Cat. Swisher gets Giordani. He tries to find a follow-up, is traded, so still a man advantage for Marca Registrada. Yes, health is low, but they've got a chance.
Oh, it's all going to be about the smoke fade. It's all going to be about the smoke fade. Both rifles set up here. Slack trying to get out towards long. Flashbang through. Okay, this stalls them out a little bit. Now it fades, and now we find out if they could just brute force it. Sin goes to the rifle. Slacks has died, but it comes down to the clutch, and Spamsy's gone to the off to try and seal the deal on this one.
Oh,
off the boxes, and Sin, what a
Come on,
headshot!
Sin.
What a snap, too! Round win denied. They finally killed Slacks. But a round win was too much to ask. We're going to the break with a 12-0 on the board. And we're back for what could be a very brief half of Counter-Strike. This was just dismantling. This is an absolute battering. M80 came out. It didn't even really do anything that fancy. Just smash Marca Registrada, pretty much everything that they tried. Complete and utter annihilation. I mean, Slacks didn't die until the last round of the half. So, John, is there any hope?
There's always hope, Mike.
It's nice of you to lie to the people.
It's no, hold on. It's a matter of percentage hope. Percentage of hope, let's say.
Okay,
And,
what percentage would you give this?
I would give this a 0.5% hope for Marca
That's
Registrada.
a lot higher than I think is likely. I think you need to add some more zeros into that.
Oh, come on. I got to give him 0.5%, Mike.
All right.
But, yeah, you can always get 12 in a row in Counter-Strike. That's what's great about it. But will it happen? Probably not.
Oh, okay, hold on. Jardani's got his first kills. No one lets Jardani go an entire map without killing anybody. Okay, hold on. Slacks has the bomb. Slacks is getting flanked. This could be bad.
Okay.
Slacks has to fight everybody. All right. All right. They won a pistol. We're back, folks. We're back. Marca Registrada are not getting 13-0'd. Let's go, baby. Let's go. They're here to play.
Look, I mean, whether or not it actually happens, I think it's still very unlikely. Mike,
There's that 0.5%.
There
Let's
is that
go,
0.5%, and it's just that's why I love Counter-Strike. That's why, as an esport, I think it's the best one that exists. Just that you can never know what'll happen, despite the lead that an opponent has. There's always that slim possibility that another team can pull it together and come back.
You're right. Shout outs to Jardani.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting 2. Oh, he's going to get more. Jardani, CT-sided player. Stacking up another multi-kill here. I think he's a little pissed off about how that first half went. 3 to the name. 5 in the game. And while he will eventually get silenced, there's no way Sin's going to be able to put the pieces of this one together. Bomb dropped in the open. 2 players watching it like hawks. And Sin, who is not long for this world.
All right, well, Force Buy didn't work for M80. Now they're going to be on to the Eco, you'd imagine. Will be some upgraded pistols, but that's it. Looks like they're going to run 4 Deagles. Sin wants to keep his money safe for an AWP eventually, so he invests a little lighter than his teammates, but as it stands, still a chance for some crazy Deagle shots to come through. Marca Registrada has to be perfect for the entirety of this half, as M80 was in the first half.
Nice. Some Deagle shots connect here. We got some strong Deaglers on this team, and Swisher's going to show exactly why you can't count them out with the hand cannons. Marca Registrada have been put on notice. Oh boy. The aggression here.
I mean,
oh
kind of,
boy.
yeah.
Tight angle,
Yeah.
not weird. They don't know. Hex got the next B player. This is going to be the cross. Uh-oh. This is getting bad. This is getting rough. AMC is going to try and force this issue, but there's so many crosshairs. That's just too many to deal with. Going ahead of his teammates. Felt like he had to be the hero, but in this moment, it might be a big fat 0 instead. 4 players alive. I don't care if they have armor. That's enough. This is over. It's desperation on the spam through the door. It's extermination from the barrel of Hex's gun. M80 are walking away from their opponent's map pick with a big fat 13-2, and Spamsy, try as he might, can do nothing about it.
I mean, that was just really nicely played by M80, right? Swisher gets the opener. It looks like a lurk on the other side, right? They're like, oh, it's just a lurk, just one frag. We don't have to worry about it. They keep one anchor towards the B site. But M80, after fading off for a little bit, they let the
things. Their flashes are relatively ineffective. We saw entirely too much comfort for Slacks when they were doing A takes, where he just managed to sort of sit, shoot, retake the angle, shoot. That didn't really have to fight too hard to hold on to his positioning. a little bit too slow in a lot of their decision making. They would get space in towards mid and then not really be able to actually get that in towards B before the B players can make a response. Just lots of those things where they don't look super drilled and up to date as a squad, which it's going to be tough when you're playing in an M80. M80 is going to give you very, very, very little margin for those kind of errors, and if you're giving them a lot of those errors, they will devour you.
Yeah. And I mean, look, one of the criticisms I have on like tier 3, tier 2 teams sometimes is just not throwing enough flashes, not deploying the utility enough. And you see that for Marca Registrada, their highest player is Spamsy at 0.64 flashes thrown per round. Behind that's B1 at 0.61. Look at the other side of the server. Sin, I already talked about that, 1.00 per round, and Slacks at 0.83. Then behind him, Swisher at 0.73. So those three players outflash almost the entirety of Marca Registrada. And that has to change if they want to find success. Anyway, in pistol round, that won't matter as much, as Majestics is going to get the opener on the Sin.
Oh boy. X2 kills. Look at Lake's position as well. This is looking like it might just be over. Lake's going to control the rotation. He hears Jardani as well, so he's calling his teammates back over. He's saying, the A player came back. I've got full control here. If we just rock out Donut, there's very little that he can do about this. And so out onto A they go. Interesting that Lake gives up the position to play with the death ball a little bit more, but Slack's getting that kill is going to make that a lot easier to justify. And now they're going to hold into the post plant. These B players are going to have a real tough time getting back in. If they do, they have a kit, but they also don't have armor, John. So, good luck. Here comes the move. Going to attempt it. Might as well. It's a pistol. But B1 does not seem to have his teammates' same appetite. One extra kill. It's just not enough time for this, even with the kit. He's out of clock. He's out of chances. And he's about to be out of life.
Definitely. One by Slacks as well. As M80 will pick up the pistol here. I mean, it felt like Marca Registrada might be able to pull off another pistol round with the way that one started. The dualies connecting for one frag, and then afterwards Hex just erases any chance of that man advantage lasting longer than 3 seconds with the 2K. He gives his own team the man advantage, and the time are going to be called immediately from Marca Registrada. They hope to find some answers, going to decide if they go for the force buy or the eco. Maybe they're thinking they need to try and capitalize on any economy they can get and go for full-on gun rounds instead of trying for force buys against this M80 squad. But yeah, I don't know. It looks like the force buy is going to come through here. It can still work. Like on Ancient, you force up, you send 3 players, perhaps, you know, even 4 on a round like this, barreling down mid, gain that control of Z, then you can jump up into lane, try to find something, especially with the MP9s available to you. There's something there that can happen. It's just that M80 have been really sharp and very aware of the way Marca Registrada have been playing. And I'd almost be surprised if they get caught off guard by something like that. We'll see.
We will. In just a few short moments. See something. Slacks sees nothing. Flashbang is good. Lake, better. Despite the damage on Slacks, no kill to show for it. At this point, Slacks can slip away and throw the nades for his teammate. And Swisher coming off the window is continuing to stack the bodies here. Okay, so 1 kill goes away. But it will just be the 1. Don't even know if Swisher transferred over. I think that might have been a lucky shot on the V1, but he'll take it.
See, that was like a half-hearted example of what I was just describing, Mike. You know, 3 players going down mid. They send the first out. The nades are good. They get close to a frag, don't find it, and then fall off. They hesitate for a moment. And that moment of hesitation is where M80 is able to just kind of punch through and really start to break through the ranks of Marca Registrada. If they decide to fully commit, sure, you might die, but at least maybe you'll get a frag. Maybe something can materialize in the round. Instead, they get absolutely nothing. And now we'll be on to upgraded pistols only. Majestics native down to 55 immediately. Swisher. That nade's going to do a little bit of damage, imagine. Yeah, a lot of damage. AMC down to half health as well. B-stack is on. And there goes Slacks as a result. And maybe need to be careful.
Ooh. Lake will be able to recover from that one. Missed opportunity. With the deep kill in towards mid. There's no one policing A, which which is going to cause big problems if they manage to get up donut. And they don't seem to be reading this. Now the util goes over. Now they know, but it's too little too late. They were still wary about the B approach. So the bomb down, mounting this retake is going to be challenging, to say the least. Might just be playing for exits here.
Yeah. I mean, getting a gun, so just
it would
gonna happen.
And Majestics has an AK, so time to play hide and seek.
Oh, true. He did get one.
Time to play hide and seek. Swisher's on the angle. Swisher would like the AK. Oh. Oh, this is going to get weird.
I think he still dies, Mike.
Lake's knife out. Now Swisher knows, and that means... Oh, he managed to get away! Okay, an error made by M80. Thought that was surely going to be the punish coming through. Come on, Majestics. Come on, no.
Don't go
no.
Don't go B!
Unless... Oh! We can't live. AK can't be picked up, so small victories, but very small victories to start.
You gotta go back towards T-spawn. Don't go B.
We got an op-out. It's AMC picking it up this time. It's Giordani who tried in, I think, their 1 or 2 opping opportunities in the last map.
It was only Giordani who had the AWP on the previous map, but AMC, as far as I can tell anyway, maybe he only... Actually, hold on a second, because AMC is actually their primary opper.
Okay.
So Giordani may have only had the op based on positioning, Mike, because we didn't see it that much, right? So
I'll be honest, it might have been based on not having any kills yet and being like, screw this, I'm going to get an op kill. Goodbye, Majestics. Tried to go for the aggressive play, so she just waited for that. We've got an early advantage here for M80. That op is positioned back, so might be able to do something, but a dry swing through the smoke. I mean, more successful than you'd think. Got the dink on the Sin. Nearly had another one's going to do it. Well, okay. All right.
You need a flash for a play like that. You can't just push a smoke with so much presence.
But they'll never expect it twice.
Look.
They'll never see it coming. I mean, now it's an op save. 2 dry pushes through smoke. Good timing for AMC. Lake and Sin have no health. You could say that. Lake is on the other side of the map because they are expecting this to be a save. But AMC says expect the unexpected.
Yep.
You're not going to want to watch that spray back, but it's fine. Slice is like, I'm an op. It's cool. I got the op now. There's a word for what we're watching, John.
What is that word, Mike?
Slaughter.
Yes. That is an apt description. Timeout called by Marca Registrada to try and put a brief pause, maybe an end to this slaughter. We're talking things over. Won't be in this round because they don't have the money. They will opt for a half investment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel for them.
The light is growing even dimmer. Once again, the play-in towards middle, not quite supported. And M80 not seeing anything here towards B. We'll see if they fake themselves out of this, but based on the whole lack of everybody being here, carry on forward, they will find. This is, in fact, the empty site.
I don't mind the attempt from Marca Registrada to go for a bit of a stack here.
Ah, you gotta.
Yeah.
You got very little to put behind this round. You might as well stack them all up, roll the dice, see what happens.
The thing is, I mean, they're going to buy up in the next round, I guess, anyway, but you don't want to throw away your guns. Play for exits at the very least. Don't go into the bomb site here.
Seems like they're listening to you. Coach JRT in action. Have you done any coaching?
I have not. Done a lot of playing, not coaching.
Never, like, ran a little league team for your kids?
Oh, I did coach basketball at one point.
I was gonna
Funnily
say, I can just picture you in my head with a whistle and like the smallest, you know, dad exercise shorts the whole time.
No, it wasn't like that.
Headband on. All right, kids, I want to see some hustle out there today.
No headband, no shorts, Mike. But yes, did do a lot of yelling. Get them to hustle, you know.
Yep.
You
would be the dad who would get way too invested in the actual result. All the kids on the team are like, but we're having a good time. And you're like, I want winners!
Oh, my God. Unfortunately true.
Oh, no, I always long time here, John.
I wanted them to have fun, of course. But, you know, winning is fun. Right?
Lake certainly thinks so. Lake certainly thinks so. Quick two-man deletion in towards middle. And at this point, nearly caught on the timing push from Majestics. Could have been something. Instead, looking a little rough. Taking the space. Majestics knows he has to make a move. Does so effectively. Lake's just keeping the pressure up here on the flank. And actually, they know there's two players here towards B, so the rotation's absolutely the right decision. Lake has this control. AMC's trying to come back to do something about it, but with the op, you don't really want to go into that clear.
Oh!
Although if Lake delivers it to you, maybe making a move a little bit early. Wanted to get out of there before his smoke faded. And I think in doing so has given a bit of an opportunity over to the defense. Bomb's going to be planted. The op can't deny that. But in a 3-on-3 in the post plant, this is their best chance in a very, very long time. And suddenly, we have a numbers advantage. AMC delivering for his team. And Marca Registrada are going to attempt this retake. Time is an issue. They have a kit. B1 has that in tow. It's well retrieved. Slacks connects. And Sin dancing around the box. 1 HP or no. Might have just bought the time. Now it's all about this bomb. You're absolutely right. The lack of the smoke. Now they know he's off of it. Nade won't find home. It does actually get him quite close. But there's no time. There's no clock. So Slacks has confirmed the round win.
And once more, B1 will die on top. So does Slacks. Exactly the same players that died to the bomb previously in a similar situation, although it was more M80 sided previously. Good effort from Marca Registrada. Honestly, getting some good trades. That's what we talked about on the first map. You know, they needed to get those first frags. Make sure, limit the damage. If you're going to go have a player go down, make sure there's an immediate trade available. So the spacing was actually the best we've seen from Marca Registrada, and a mistake capitalized on by them as Lake was trying to pinch in a little early in towards CT. So a lot of positives from Marca Registrada there.
Specifically from AMC as well. Really tough position. Kind of a rock and a hard place there with the op on A. Made it work. Made it work. Gave them a chance. But the chances are going to dwindle here. The economy's in a tough spot. You can't get that all back out. Not a lot of utility. AMC is gone. Though a dink onto Hex at least gives them something for it. But it does mean that B1's going to have to come back to support because they have no real information here. It's a double setup in towards Cave. It's a little bit of aggression out Donut that it seems like they might want to take some mid control. But for the moment, M80 are just sitting back and seeing what comes their way and then reading and reacting. Util while they peek in. Giordani can't capitalize. That one's going to sting. A swing. 1-for-1 trade. The numbers starting to dwindle here, and Spamsy is really stuck here in Jaguar. They're going to take the site. There's very little that he could do about this. They actually don't follow up with the B control. Lake haven't gotten his way out of Donut. Means that instead, there's a chance for Spamsy. But Sim's expecting it. And Spamsy gets a little bit wide. The number the last player is. Back into B. And B1. What are you going to do here?
He's going to be one with the shadows and try to save.
I think he's going to go for it.
Really? B1.
I mean,
I don't think so. I feel like he's just going to die because he's going to try and go for exits here and he's going to get in. But yeah, that wasn't, in my opinion, an attempt to actually go for the retake.
It's kind of half in, half out.
Yeah, which is the worst thing to do, honestly, especially when your team is struggling and you need that money. Need that save. I don't know.
You are just in the situation where it's been so desperate across two maps.
True.
You feel like you need some kind of spark. somewhere to do something. But it is tough. Again, reminder that based on our knowledge, Spamsy and Giordani are likely playing with some pretty brutal ping. So do keep that in mind for their individual efforts. But
yeah,
it has been tough. Has been tough indeed.
It has been. There's their last timeout gone. You got to call them. You got them to use them. So going for the force buy here. I get it. It's desperate. I understand. I just never like to see a team that is just going to have this mixed buy-up, being down 7-0. You want to have all the pieces possible in order to find success against a team like M80, because mixed buy-ups oftentimes won't yield that success. But you never know. I mean, Counter-Strike 2 has delivered a lot of weird rounds where lacking in firepower hasn't necessarily led to a loss. And just spamming through the smoke. Gets spammed appropriately enough, and it's a
nice
5v4.
read, yeah. He spotted him getting into that corner. Goes for the molly spam combination. Oh!
No, Hex! Hex!
Dollar in the bad util jar. Come on, Hex. New team. Can't be doing that. Bleak gets his kill on the flank. It's essentially over. Bullets. Woo-hoo-hoo! Last bullet needed. But he gets it. He gets it. Retake attempted. Majestics is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. At this point, that foot should be both out.
Majestics, don't push the smoke, please. Okay. Well.
They love walking through a smoke, man. These guys love walking through a smoke.
Watch.
And they always walk through a smoke sideways for some reason. That's what I'm noticing.
They watched too many Stewie demos from like 10 years ago.
Nah, the trick is you gotta jump through the smoke if you're gonna do a Stewie.
Yes, exactly.
Violence and momentum there.
That's the trick. Alrighty. It's gonna sail in. Lake's gone. Okay, there we go. There's the mid pinch working out for Marca Registrada, and they're gonna get the second as well. Giordani finds it, but oh, look at the response. They can't catch a break. Swisher gets 2, Slacks 1, and now Slacks has a beat on the player stuck in Cubby. Spamsy's hoping to support, but he gets cut down by Swisher, and Hex gets the last. Even when it looks like Marca Registrada have got something going, M80 burst onto the scene.
So the real question we have to answer here is, M80 failed to get the 13-0 last time. Will they make it work this time around?
Man.
This is the point we're at, John. This is the point we're at.
I still think that Marca Registrada have got a round in them. I still feel like it might be another pistol round.
Yeah, I think they're good at the pistols. They're perfectly fine. I mean, this round came down to a 1v1, right?
That's right.
I think it's very possible.
I can't help but feel like they've thrown in the towel, though, because they keep forcing. They're not even really trying to
manage it's
their
full
economy.
desperation station at this point, right? Begging somebody else to swing him. And it looks like they really want to. They're thinking about it. Oh, boy. Giordani got the first spray, but... Again, I do want to give him some grace because of the ping. It is still just very tough here. Bomb's going to go down on A. We are once again in a situation where there is no chance. This is not happening. Confirmation on positioning. Lake's going to go around to try and hunt to make sure they can't save. So why not at this point? Spamsy's gone. It all falls to B1. B1 is going to be done.
Wow, those are some razor sharp shots from Slacks, though. He needs to farm the stats here in this qualifier. 13-2.
He was 16-4 in the last map. 1.95 rating, 101 ADR. So he is now 29-6 across 2 maps of play. 59.
calculate the rating as well, Michael.
6. No, I don't have that formula. That is not publicly available, I don't believe. Also, I'm bad at math.
Not right though.
That's not even true. I'm fine at math. I'm just not doing complex formula mid-cast.
Yes.
Alright, B1 gets a kill back at least. But it cost him much health. Spamsy. He's going to have to play it the wrong way. But instant trade means that it is onto 2 very isolated MP9s. One of whom has 12 health. So you're telling me there's a chance. There's still so much utility from M80 as well. When they decide to hit this site, there's
Not
just
to
gonna be
mention
every flash in existence.
Not to mention B1's in a very common spot for an A to be thrown, and Molotovs as well. You might even be able to get away from Molly.
Can't back out, I'll tell you that much. And the Molly spread. Unfortunate. AMC, what you got? That is what you got. Well, I can offer Marca Registrada the same consolation I gave them on Dust2. It's going to be quick.
I don't have much to add, Mike. I'm not gonna lie.
That is the depth of our analysis at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to beat a dead horse on the Marca Registrada side. There are a lot of things working against them. There are a lot of disadvantages. M80 is a very professional team. They play good CS. And M80 are not... The one thing you could say that might work out for them is if M80 lost their head and just fought to chase kills, and they're not doing it.
No, they won't.
They're playing
And they won't. Yeah.
quite together.
We won't see that from M80 at all. They want to come out here and be very methodical. It's very serious for them to make it back to EPL. They want to be there. They've been there 3 seasons in a row.
Oh.
And okay, ships in the night, Mike. They go past each other, but Lake gets one on the tail end.
He knows. Oh!
No.
He didn't trust himself. He knew, but then he didn't know. Thought he had the clear. It wasn't in the clear. Now, clearly, it's not going to matter.
No.
Complete domination again. Another 12-0 half as M80 keeps us in suspense. Will they seal the deal 13-0? Find out next time on Dragon Ball EPL Qualifier. And now it's time to answer the question.
Moment of truth.
The moment of truth. Can M80 do it? Can they find the 13-0 that evaded them on Dust 2 and seal this series 2-0? Or can Marca Registrada do it again and pull a pistol round out of the hat?
I think Marca Registrada have like a really solid strat here. Every time you see decoys pop, you're like, okay, they're cooking something.
I think they're just thinking, what's the point of saving the 50?
Well, no, but they're actually
We
saving
can't do anything with it if we don't win this round. Decoy strat. Let's go. Decoy dodgeball. The
right.
strat is run B. Oh,
No,
hold
this
on.
is a decoy strat, Mike. I'm telling you.
No, I think they're full committing to this. Oh, Slacks is blind and he still gets a kill and doesn't get traded either because the flash caught his teammate and it's over. It's done. It's done. The game is over. Spamzy's raging against it, but they're knifing him, and a blade will put him to rest. Lake has sealed the 13-0, the perfect map of play. Look at those ADR numbers. They're ridiculous. Absolute domination from AM80. I mean, this series was never in question, John, but a 13-0 on Ancient.